The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors. Lighting for ECAT production provided by the Avery Lee Williams Family Foundation.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harris and Young. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harris and Young. I have a little cold, as you can hear. I'm going to stick it out. Doesn't matter. The show must go on. I have a great guest tonight. He was actually a last-minute fill-in, but he's also been recommended to me. He's an irrigator, and we're going to find out all about that. His name is Eric, but before we get to him, I'm going to read these incredible underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. So we have the Boston Auto Group in North Easton. We have Bogies Indoor Golf in Norton, featuring virtual courses, driving range, golf leagues, private tee times, private lessons, memberships, parties and events, food and beverage in Norton. We have the Hometown Bakery in Mansfield. We have Countertops Express in North Attleboro, experts in the installation and removal of quartz and granite. We have WSI Electronics and Repair in Brockton. We have Sarcastic Swine, the restaurant in Abington. We have Brian's Barbershop in Kingston. We have Grip It and Rip It, sports trading cards and video games in West Bridgewater. We have Lynch's Towing, Auto Cycle and Truck Center in Brockton. One number for towing, one number for projects. My pal Lynchy there is always in search of new scrap metal wheels, anything to do with transportation. He handles it all. We have Pizza Time in Norton. We have Wicked Peaceful Mind, Body, and Soul in Plainville. We have Hairway to Heaven Family Hair Salon in Norwell. We have Gabe's Auto Service in Southeastern. We have Alpha Health and Fitness Club in Rockland. We have One Good Credit in Brockton. We have the Mansfield Boxing Club in Norton. We have Jay's Barbershop in Abington. We have a new one, Fish Link Charters in Wareham. I guess it's a fishing boat service. We have Gregory Scott Jewelers in Middleborough. We have Uplifted Nutrition in Taunton. We have Diesel Plus Unlimited in Whitman. We have Jalen's restaurant in Middleborough. We have Tom Auto in Middleborough. We have Vineyard Farm in West Bridgewater. We have Good Old Dave's Automotive in Hanson on Route 58. We have New England Floorscapes in Middleborough. We have Grant's Rental in Bridgewater. We have Doggy Boutique, all-breed professional grooming for dogs and cats, run by my great next-door neighbor, Debbie Siddell in Brockton. We have D&S Auto Works and Collision Specialists in Abington on Route 58. We have RW Carpet and Flooring in Norton, covering floors for 50 years. We have Haven Psychiatric Services right here in the building in room 211. We have X-Drive Motors Incorporated in West Bridgewater. We have Eli's Auto Care in Taunton. We have Evan Young Realty in he's in Easton, and he's my brother, the realtor. We have Joe Steiner in Taunton. We have Anthony Cycles in Middleborough. Okay. We have the Riverside Cafe in Wareham, open 6 days a week, all except Wednesdays, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. They make the best breakfast from Boston and the Cape, and they have DoorDash delivery. Bay Street Vape and Smoke in Taunton. Okay. Thank you guys very much. And now your name, Eric. What's your last name? Say it again.
Eric Behan.
Behan.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have a company called Sweet Irrigation.
Perfect Irrigation.
Perfect Irrigation. Okay, that's close. And what do you irrigate?
Mostly lawns and gardens. It's,
Okay. All right. You mean like landscaping, but...
Yeah, it goes hand in hand with
Goes hand in hand,
landscaping.
okay.
They do the plantings. You got to get water on the plantings to keep them alive kind of thing.
Okay, but you just irrigate them. You don't plant them. I mean, you don't
Right,
do the
for now
landscaping.
anyway.
Okay.
I'm always looking to expand, but right now I got a kind of heavy workload.
Okay, well, you're a one-man operation.
Yeah, and starting a business is a lot of work.
Oh, I know. Tell me about it. But when did you start it? How long ago?
This year is the first year I'm going full-time with it. I put in one system for a guy by myself last year. Okay. And it went really well. He's very happy with me, and I think I could do this.
Okay, well, when you say, okay, so that was your first job.
Solo, yes.
Solo, okay. And how long did it take you to do it?
About 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
It was a pretty good sized system. We had about an acre and a half that needed irrigation.
Okay, so basically you help farmers too.
I would like to branch into that at some point, but farm irrigation is a kind of a different set of equipment.
Oh, it
almost.
is?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically what you just do is keep lawns looking pretty and healthy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, exactly. That's my focus.
Gotcha, okay. All right. Well, what I do with every guest is I profile them the best I can. I try to find out what they were like as kids. You're a local guy. You live in Plymouth, right?
I went to high school in Kingston and Carver.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I bounced around a lot.
Well, I know, but that's pretty much the same area.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
They're right next door.
Right. Okay. Exactly. Okay. Well, what did you aspire to as a younger guy? And you don't look that old as it is.
I aspire to do the same thing I aspire to do today. I just want to get out in the sunshine and get a good exercise.
Okay.
That's why I do labor.
Okay. You like being outdoors. All right. Tell me what are the extracurricular activities you did when you were a kid, if this applies.
Played a lot of video games.
Okay.
Yeah.
That applies.
I mean, when you're outdoors all day, it's not
Right.
like you go outdoors after work. You come in and you relax kind of thing.
Okay. All right. So you played a lot of video games, but did you do anything like in entertainment? Did you do any sports, any music,
I actually did some acting. Yeah, I worked at the King Richard's Fair for a little bit.
Okay.
What
fair was it?
King Richard's Fair, the one in Carver.
King Richard's Fair. Yeah, sure. Did the jousting?
Oh, well, that wasn't me. I was just one of the street performers. But
Okay.
yeah, the same idea. We're just acting.
Okay, but what did you do? Like juggling and stuff?
We would do like skits. Basically, it was all improvised. So we
Okay.
just pretended to be like medieval peasants, basically.
Okay.
And my character, actually, the year I was there, I was a writer, so I kind of tried to set up impromptu plays with the various.
It's funny, now that you mention it, I'm looking at you, I can almost see it. If you painted your face white, you could be a perfect mime. You just have that mime look.
Are you telling me to shut up?
What? No. No, come on. No, you look like you could be an actor. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. So I also did some film with a friend of mine. He was doing like independent movie projects, and he always called on me to do acting.
Oh, okay, well tell me about those. I mean, what kind of films were they? Did he write the scripts?
Yeah, he wrote, directed, and starred in them. So I
Okay.
was just kind of playing bit parts. It was like a post-apocalyptic kind of thing.
Sweet.
This was like 20 years ago almost.
Okay, well, all right. Well, did you ever aspire to be an actor when you were a younger guy?
No, it was just something fun to do.
Just something fun to do.
I used to be really good in front of the camera too.
Well, you still
Now
are.
I'm a little more nervous, but I'll get through it.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Why would you be nervous? You were good before. Why wouldn't you be good now?
Just get out of practice, you know.
Okay. Well, who is this person? Maybe I could get him on the show.
He's dead.
What's that?
He's dead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I can understand that. That's a damper for what you were doing, I guess.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
Yeah, no, I understand. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, that sucks. But, well, all right. But, you still had your, that was something you did, and it's all.
What can I tell you about him anyway, though?
Sure, if you want to.
His name was Easton Kent. He was another local kid around
Okay.
here. One of the most ebullient, outgoing people you'll ever meet. He really brought me out of my shell when I was in high school.
Okay.
And I kind of owe him everything for that.
Wow.
I wish he was still around.
Yeah, of course. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, maybe at some point you'll go back to doing some film acting for fun, just maybe as a tribute to him.
Yeah, I actually been thinking more about doing not necessarily podcasting, but like internet content kind of thing.
Okay.
So like that's part of what I'm trying to do with Polly for my business is not just advertising. With, like this is what I do, and this is how good I am at it. But like what I do is physical exercise. It's like a lot of people have this misconception that labor destroys your body. And the only reason that happens is because they're not taking care of like proper form and lifting techniques.
You're an
and all
exercise
that.
buff then.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to turn the labor aspect into like all these kids today. Gen Z is probably one of the most represented generations in the gym. They're working their butts off in the gym, and I can pay them for that.
Wow. Well, I'm 65 and a half. I work out every day. I didn't used to.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I used to be a drug addict, and I'm a vegan, too. I used to eat. I was the king of cheeseburger consumption when I was in high school.
This is not good for you.
No, I know. Tell me about it. Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever done anything with like physical training or anything like that? You obviously have an aptitude for fitness.
So I've learned a lot independently. There's some really, really good resources on YouTube. There's this one guy, Squat University.
Okay.
His whole thing is like the basic functions of the body, the hinge and the press and all that.
Yep.
And one of the main things I learned from him was that the whole point of all your back muscles is to stabilize the spine, not to actually do the lift.
Okay.
So you stabilize the spine and you move about the hips, and that has helped me. My back doesn't hurt when I dig anymore.
Okay.
Like it was kind of miraculous when I learned that.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, do you do anything? Well, do you do regular exercise? You work out every day? Or,
Well, that's my job.
That's your job, but I mean, like, do you have a regimen like every morning? Like me, I get up every morning. I do. I lift weights. I jog in my living room for a half hour.
I should do more mobility exercises. Would be
you look like you're
the
in
number
great
one
shape.
thing.
You're certainly not heavy.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. Were you heavy as a kid? Because I was. I'm just wondering if.
No, I was always a rail.
You were always okay. A rail. Okay, that's good. I mean, it's a healthy way to be. Do you have well, I'm a vegan. I don't know if you are.
Vegetarian anyway.
Are you?
Yeah. I don't eat meat.
There you go. That's great.
I don't have an ethical opposition to it. I just have an ethical opposition to the way we raise our livestock. I think factory farming is kind of horrible.
Well, right. You have a heart too.
Yeah, exactly. I care.
No.
I care about animals.
I agree. Me too. And I've been that. I don't know how old you are, but I've been a vegetarian for 43 years.
I'm 36. I've only been doing it for
five or six maybe. Before your life started. Before your life started. That's when I.
Oh, that's when you. Yeah, that's when you started. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. So that's great. Did you go to college at all?
I did. I went to Massasoit for 1 year, and
okay.
That's when I decided I wanted to be outside.
Oh, okay. Just sitting. Did you have a major?
I was trying to go for science, but.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fine. You did it for 1 year. All right. And that's when you decided. And so, I assume that was like possibly, you said 20 years ago, right? When you kind of got it. Was that when you?
Yeah, it was about 20 years ago.
Okay. And that's kind of when you started doing things outside regularly.
Well, I was already doing. I was working for my father back when I was like 15.
Oh, what does he do? What
Irrigation.
Oh, same thing.
This is where I learned the trade, basically.
Oh, I see. All right.
So I worked for him for a few years, and then everybody was like, "Oh, you got to go to college. You got to go to college." And I did it for a year, and I was like, staring out the window the whole time. I wasn't paying attention to class. I just want to be out there.
Okay.
I was getting paid to be out there.
Exactly. Okay.
Now I am again.
Now you are again. Okay. What now? How many? But you have that truck that you have outside. That's just there's no other. That's the only one on earth with that logo on it, right?
Yeah. The logo and the name and everything.
And you're all by yourself. You don't have anybody working for you right now.
So far.
Oh, but ultimately.
Well, I got Polly working for me. She's doing my social media.
Right, I
that counts, right?
But of course it counts. But I'm talking about like working under you. She works for you.
That's true. Yeah, no, I don't have anybody working under me, and I don't really think of it. I don't think I want to go the route where I want to like try to strong arm somebody to get them in as low as possible. I think I just want to share. When somebody's producing work, they're helping me build the business. I'm not doing this all by myself once I hire somebody.
Right.
And so if they're going to put all their time and energy into helping me build the business, I want to give them a part of the business.
Of course.
I think that's just right.
On the other hand, you don't want to pay people that might end up, wasting your money and your time. You want to make sure.
Well, that's just inevitable.
Right. Well, it depends. I mean, you have to find somebody that you have to vet people and find out if they're qualified to do what you want them to do.
Right. There's going to be a learning process with that, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, and speaking of that, I mean, so would you consider yourself a horticulturalist?
I'm not. I actually don't have that much of a green thumb, believe it or not.
Okay. Well,
I know everything about how much water plants need.
Right.
I don't know so much about their nutrients. And I know a lot about the soil and the soil conditions plants want.
Okay.
I don't know so much about the nutrients, which is one of the main important parts of horticulture.
It is. Well, why don't you?
I just haven't had time to study it yet.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, isn't that kind of important? You want the lawns to look good? Don't you have to know that?
I am going to hire I already have somebody in mind. The first person I'm going to hire, not just to help me with the irrigation, but he's really good at lawns.
Okay.
So he's going to be there to help me with the grass part and making sure like we don't have to outsource keeping it green.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just a lot to learn.
Now, what about growing fruits and vegetables?
Well, that's where I want to go with this business.
Okay.
So I have the irrigation is just kind of a stepping stone.
Right.
To what I want to do eventually is create a sort of distributed agriculture system.
Okay.
So like our food supply, we grow everything in like the Midwest.
Right. Okay.
And we do it in massive monocrops with industrial fertilizers. That creates a lot of weaknesses in our food chain, where like any one of those pieces breaks down. And a lot of people could start going hungry.
Wow.
That's I don't know. I don't want to like fearmonger or anything, but that just seems really dangerous to me to be doing it this way. So I have an idea for using. Are you familiar with permaculture?
Sounds familiar, but I don't know. I mean, I have no green thumb either. I've never done anything with growing stuff in the ground. Except my father had a hothouse for smoking because we used to smoke weed back in the day. He still might. He's 90 now. I don't anymore. But that's as far as like any of the curing all the stuff that you grow. That's the closest I've ever come to it.
All right. Well, I'm not an expert in it. I'm still learning about permaculture, but essentially it is different plants require different nutrient profiles, and they can kind of work symbiotically. They can compatible.
Yeah, compatible.
Yeah, they're compatible
gotcha.
with each other.
Yep.
And so you can grow gardens that produce a lot of food in a much denser area.
Okay.
So if I can set up so that I can plant these gardens and operate them, so like there would have to be some sort of cost. I haven't really worked out the logistics yet.
Okay.
But there would have to be some sort of cost with planting them in the first place. But the idea is that we would operate them entirely. The homeowner would not have to ever worry about animals in their yard or food going fallow everywhere. We'd be taking care of the lawns. We'd be taking care of the gardens. We'd be harvesting it and then turning it into food products that we could then resell. And sort of like, are you familiar with like Factor or Ready Fresh?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
The meal delivery services kind of thing. I mean, they're sending meals across the country. I just want to keep everything local.
All right, yeah, I understand. Yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, last week I actually had a woman on my show. We did the interview by Zoom in Georgia, and she does farming down there. She has like a couple acres of land. Do you have that in your house? Do you farm it? Do you like farm it all at your own property?
I don't have time right now. I wanted to start this year. I wanted to start practicing with permaculture plots.
Okay.
But I just don't have time.
All right. Now, what did you say you were ordering from the Midwest? What was coming here from the Midwest? I know you want to keep it local.
Well, the food, all of our food.
Oh,
all of our food comes from the Midwest or other countries in the off season.
Really?
Yeah.
What about like say local corn and stuff?
There are some local farms, but especially like Western Mass has a lot of farms. They grow a lot of asparagus out there actually.
Right.
But that's not enough to feed even New England by
Really?
itself.
Okay.
Yeah, so like we're very reliant on long distance food supply chains.
Okay. Well, I mean, we got in Brockton where I live is Gary's Farm. I don't know if you know where that is, but they've been open for years. My mother gets all the veggies and fruits there.
That's part of why I think this area is so perfect for what I'm talking about doing.
It is.
There's so many right to farm communities. There's so many people interested in this kind of local food supply.
Right.
And then it's also not just supporting local food, but also supporting local jobs as well.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So right now everything is you want to get into farming eventually, but right now you're just doing people's lawns.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a lot of work just to get everything up to like, I call my company Perfect Irrigation. That's the standard I'm trying to set is if it's not perfect, it isn't good enough.
Like legal seafoods, except we don't eat seafoods because we're vegans or vegetarians.
If it isn't fresh, exactly. Same idea, I guess.
Same idea, right.
Maybe that's where I got it from. I don't know. It popped in my head one day.
No, I understand, right. All right. Well, how do you have a list of clients that you reach out to? How do you find people to work for?
Right now, I'm spending all of my money on advertising.
Oh, with Polly.
Not just with Polly. I was spending with Google Ads for a bit. I was trying to use some of the Leads apps. Those are really expensive. I was just trying different advertising avenues and seeing what has the best return on investment kind of thing.
Let me ask you this. Now, that gentleman you talked about who's passed away, did you ever learn anything about film production from him?
No, I've done a little bit of video editing. It's all learned on my own.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because, well, all right, maybe you might want to create a video of what you can do. Have you ever done that and just pop it on social media and you probably get a lot of views and a lot of interested people?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Oh, all right, but you haven't done it yet.
I have a couple short ones. I don't think they've been posted yet. I've finished 2 or 3 so far.
Okay.
But like I said, I'm not very good. I just started it. I'm not very good at it, so I don't know how much engagement they're going to get.
All right, what are these little videos? Are you planting or doing irrigation?
Doing irrigation, basically just showing these problems. I'm walking every company I've worked for a lot of the major contractors in the area, and every one of them have just massive issues with the work they're putting in the ground.
Wow.
Like, I don't think it's okay for a professional contractor to be putting systems in the ground that leak. That costs everybody money.
Right.
It puts strain on our water infrastructure by just dumping water into the ground when it's supposed to be going on top.
Right. Oh, okay.
So that's my main motivation in starting the business in the first place. Was like, all right, if I can't get anybody to do this right, I'm going to do it myself.
Okay. All right. So it's better to plant with the water up above the ground than under it. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah. You got to get the water. Like you're supposed to, the idea is you're emulating rain.
Right.
So you want as even precipitation across everything as possible.
Okay.
And so there's a lot that goes into making sure that comes out as perfect, because they shoot in circles, so it's hard to get circles to come out even across an entire lawn kind of thing.
Okay. Well, you
don't want it underground. That's not where the grass is.
Well, in my freshman year of high school, I took earth science, and we talked about the different types of water perforation into the ground. There's like 3 different types. There's above rain coming like you're talking about, and there's runoff. When it like the water falls down and then it goes off somewhere else. And then there's the underground where it seeps in. So as I recall, they said that for the healthiest soil, you're better off having all 3, but I guess you disagree with that.
Well, the pipes are supposed to be down below the roots.
Okay, you're talking about pipes. So in other words, a lot of systems will pop water. They'll pop like pipes to water under the plants in the ground.
It's where the fittings are. They're not doing that's the main problem, I think, is they're not doing the fittings correctly, and it's leaking out through the fittings, sometimes pretty significantly, like up to a gallon a minute.
And that could probably drown the plants too, right?
It can, yeah. I actually just did a system yesterday, and I have to go back tomorrow. She had multiple leaks. Her front yard was always mushy. Your lawn should not be mushy.
I know.
That's a lot of lost water to be just constantly saturating it like that. So I fixed one major leak in a valve manifold, and then I tested the system, and I found she has like at least a half a dozen more I got to go find.
Okay, interesting. Now you do commercial and personal property stuff, both?
I don't have any commercial accounts right now, but yeah, I'll do commercial accounts.
All right, but I thought you were talking about, okay. All right, that's interesting. I thought you had both, but I guess.
Well, I only have like 10 customers.
10 customers, right? But that's a lot. That's pretty good.
That's a good start for a month.
Since you just started last month. Okay. Now, what does Polly do exactly? She must do this. She must handle all the social media.
Yeah, she's my social media manager. That's one thing that's always going to be beyond my abilities is dealing with tech companies.
Right.
So I'm so grateful that I have somebody to do that for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She knows what to say. I mean, okay, all right. So you haven't created a film about planting and do you have like, I mean, what I'm thinking is at some point you might want to do that, give a little voiceover instruction on a film about what you're telling me now, and that would enlighten people. But,
that's a good idea. Yeah, it's hard to organize this stuff in my head too. So having this conversation with you is actually helping me figure out this stuff.
I always say that's what we're here for. All right, and then all you got to do is think what you got to do. You might write it down a little bit, or when the show is up, you can take little tidbits.
I'll be taking notes.
That's fine. Yeah, that's perfect. That makes me feel I'm even more important than I already think I am when I got here. All right. Okay, that's good. Now, when it comes to what is the actual work you do? That you do a lot of. Does it include a lot of digging and
a lot of digging. I actually put a system in earlier this year.
Okay.
I hand trenched the entire thing.
Wow, how deep? How deep did you have to dig?
6 inches for zone line, 8 inches for main line.
And how wide did you have to go?
It's only about 4 inches. So you use a trenching shovel. It's about a 4-inch shovel.
Okay.
But with a lot of times you have to use a pickaxe to break up the ground and then scoop it out with the trenching shovel.
You don't use a tractor, do you?
I would like to use, they have a pipe puller. It's like a blade that sticks in the ground.
I've seen those.
Yeah, so I would like to get one of those, but it's a very expensive piece of equipment. So right now I'm hand digging.
Well, could you add something to your truck that might not be as expensive, like maybe do a tiller?
I'm not driving on people's lawns.
You don't want to, okay,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah, interesting, okay. So you do the digging.
It's a good idea, though.
Thank you.
That was a good thought.
Yeah, okay. Do you have any, did you ever do any post billboards around the neighborhood?
I actually have done. I worked for Signorama for a couple of years.
Oh, I know Signorama, the one in Raynham.
Well, I worked for the one in Kingston.
Okay, the guy that runs the one in Raynham, he's kind of a schmuck, but the one in Kingston, I guess, is better.
I don't know about now because the guy I worked for had since sold it, so I don't know who owns it now. But I used to work for this guy Harry.
Okay, and that was in Kingston.
It was actually a really cool job. It was like working in an art studio.
You created your own, yeah. Well, that having been said, how talented are you in art-wise? Do you paint pictures, draw? I mean, did you do your own logo for the truck?
My mom did the logo, actually.
Okay, yeah, but what about, all right, so what about...
My mom's got all the art talent. I didn't get any of that.
You didn't get any? Okay. All right, well, does she help you do illustrations for you? At some point, you're probably going to do brochures and, pop in people's... I mean, I think someone like you would be better off going around just doing door-to-door.
I tried that last year. I completely failed. I could not because I'm not good at soliciting. I don't want to because I don't like solicitors. I don't want to be one of those people going and bothering people,
I know.
That's why I'm trying the advertising route this time. It seems to be okay.
No, I know. You got to try and you got to see what works for you. And obviously that didn't. So you got to do it.
But I wish I brought in one of the flyers I made to show you because I actually did do the digital the letters on the grass background. I do that stuff.
Well, it probably looks like the logo on your truck, doesn't it?
Well, a lot more color, yeah.
A lot more color. Well,
more eye-grabbing.
Right, okay. Your truck is very eye-grabbing.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But I did do a lot of Photoshop back in high school. Making
That was
just
part of
jokes
that
and
was part
stuff.
of your curriculum in school.
Just for fun.
All right.
Making jokes on the internet.
It's pretty good that you can do it like you're self-employed. And you don't have to answer to anybody. And your father showed you how to do it. What other did you have any jobs before that pertain to this kind of activity before you started your own?
Well, for the last, other than 2 years ago is when I came back to irrigation.
Okay.
5 years before that, I was an arborist, actually.
Okay.
I started on the ground, then I ended up in a bucket and climbing.
Oh, so I have to do with
So I did
trees.
some tree work. Yeah, I want to learn about trees.
Okay.
And I learned about trees, and it was really fun, but it's very dangerous.
Okay, I suppose it is. Well, Eric, guess what? We're in the final 5 minutes of the show. I know, even with my throat, I hope you had fun talking
Oh,
to
that
me.
went fast.
Oh, it does. We always have fun. So what I want you to do is, in the remaining time, is look at the camera, give a few shouts out to people that are going to see the show. I don't know if you have a wife and kids or anything, but or Paulie or anybody.
Paulie, thanks for helping me out.
Yeah, thanks, Paulie. Thanks for getting him. He's a great guest. He was very informative today. All right.
Can I plug my business?
Sure.
All right. So I'm Perfect Irrigation at perfectirrigationma.com. I publish all my prices on my website. I am all about transparency and honesty and integrity, and I want to bring that into the industry. And give me a call if you got lawn sprinklers and you're not sure about how their condition is.
Okay. Now, and this is the other thing, is I ask every guest. Now, a lot of guests that I have are like in entertainment, like I said, like actors. I mean, you've done acting, obviously. I'm glad I brought that up. But some of them, some of the guests that I have, every guest I have, I want to find out if there's anything coming up on the horizon that they want to mention, because we want to make sure we cover everything before we wrap the show up. So if there is, now's the time to mention it. If not, then that's fine too, but I just like to make sure.
Right now, my horizon is just buried in work.
Okay. All right. What does your weekly schedule look like? You say you got 10 people already that you've worked for?
Right now, I tend to only book out a week at a time right now.
Okay.
The calls are filtering in very slowly, but the jobs I'm taking on, I don't charge hourly.
Oh, you don't?
Everything is flat rate, because I should know, as the contractor, I should know how long this is supposed to take.
Yep.
That's supposed to be included in the price of the item. So it's not like I'm paying somebody hourly who's incentivized to do as slow as possible, and now I'm charging you for that. I don't like that.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah, you're not ripping anyone off like that.
Yeah, exactly.
People know going in what they're going to get.
Exactly. I can tell you beforehand exactly what this is going to cost. But the downside to that is I'm a perfectionist, so I tend to spend a lot more time than I budgeted. And I've been out to 8 o'clock a lot of nights.
Well, all right, but that's not a bad thing.
No. I mean, I'm happy to be getting work done and doing good work.
Especially now the weather's warming up, although today was kind of crappy. But, I mean, now a day like today, does that benefit all the rain we had? Does that benefit your business?
No, I mean, fewer people are going to be calling me.
Oh.
And if I did have anything booked, because if you didn't book me, I would have been out working. I'd have been out working in this.
Okay. Well, it's nice to be dry, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right. Well, here's the other thing is, if you know anybody that you think might be a good guest for my show, you got my digits. Have them contact me. We'll get them on either in person or by Zoom.
All right, cool.
I mean, I prefer them in person. I know you didn't want to do Zoom. I'm so glad you were willing to come up here today to do the show.
Yeah, it was a nice drive. This is a really nice area.
It is. Oh, it's a very nice area. I don't live too far from here. I'm less than 10 minutes away.
Nice.
I live on the west side of Brockton. All right. So there's that, and that's it. So we're going to wrap the show up. Oh, yeah. And then Jack over there, he's going to take a picture of us for Facebook. Are you on Facebook?
Well, Paulie's got my Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not personally. Paulie's got my business Facebook profile. I don't use social
All right.
media.
What I'll do is when we take the picture, I'll tag Paulie in it. And that'll
Perfect.
work. All right. We're going to wrap the show up with my snap in the way we began it. So again, if you want to snap along, that's fine. Just please don't bang the desk, because there's a CD in there and it'll jump.
All right, cool.
All right, folks. We're wrapping up another great episode of Topic Time. Another great guest coming up next week. I believe I have a model from Canada. I love that. Not that you weren't a great guest too. But hey,
I'm no model from Canada.
Yeah, it's all right. Play, pause. There we go. Hopefully. One more. There we go. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young.
Lighting for ECAT production provided by the Avery Lee Williams Family Foundation.